check out our streaming schedule for this week. We've got tons of content in terms of the NFL and college football, as we're going live just about every single day this week. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment where we go live. And now, on with our feature presentation. December 1st, 2024. It's week 13 of the 2024 NFL season, and we head up to Foxborough for this AFC matchup between the New England Patriots and the Indianapolis Colts. I can't exactly say that this is a big game for the main team in our story, the Patriots, seeing as they enter this one with a 3-9 record and are mathematically eliminated from playoff contention with a loss here, meaning that they'd be eliminated before their bye week, which seems kind of hard to believe. Still, you've got a pretty good chance to win this game against an inconsistent Colts team, and seeing as you're up 24-17 late in the fourth quarter, you're definitely in a good position to win at home for just the second time this year. All you have to do is not royally screw up on the coaching side, and you should be okay. But with Jerod Mayo at the helm on the sideline, you just know that it's not going to be easy, and he'll do everything in his power to blow this game due to his ineptitude. And sure enough, yep, that's exactly what happened. But before we talk about why it happened and how it happened, if you want to learn more about some other dumb things that NFL coaches have done in the past, then this is the place for you. Because we talk about all things NFL history all the time with a new video and a new live stream every single day. So if you like that sort of stuff, then be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we post on the channel. Thanks in advance for your support as we try and hit 70,000 subscribers. It's 3rd and 10, and the Colts have the ball at the 33-yard line after back-to-back incomplete passes by Anthony Richardson to Alec Pierce. This time, he hits his tight end Will Mallory for a gain of 7. And yeah, there's no way this ball was caught. This is blatantly obvious. That ball hit the ground. I know the refs ruled it a catch, but this should be an easy overturn. That ball is trapped. That ball hit the ground. The ball is moving around. There is not one single element of this play that should be deemed a catch. But the Patriots have 2 challenges left and all their timeouts. So naturally, they'll throw the flag here, bring up 4th down, and forcing the Colts to either punt it back to them or go for it. And everything will be good and dandy.
Run or a run pass option. Richardson, here they come. Peppers giving chase. Richardson completes.
You didn't throw the challenge flag? With that little time left? Knowing you probably win the game if you get the stop? With nothing to lose? On a blatantly obvious play? You didn't throw the flag? But that wasn't a catch. That was never going to be a catch. All you have to do is drop that little red thingy and you win. Why wouldn't you throw the flag? I swear to God, this was already a dumb decision. But if this backfires spectacularly or makes it even worse, I'm going to lose my mind.
Right here, going for 2 in the lead. Richardson pulls it back. Richardson bangs it in.
Of course. Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before I break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something look bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something look awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this could possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're taking a look at the mind of New England Patriots head coach, Jerod Mayo. The man is doing an awful job with the Patriots thus far. I don't think anyone had any expectations for New England this year, but to be eliminated from playoff contention entirely before your bye week, that is inexcusable no matter who you are. And the frustrating part with Mayo isn't that he's losing games with a team not expected to do a lot. It's that the man is just a genuinely bad coach. His teams play with no discipline whatsoever, and they're one of the most penalized teams in football. He called this team soft. His in-game management skills are abysmal. He isn't even aware of the situation half the time, as we saw in Week 3 against the New York Jets on Thursday Night Football, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. And for a defensive-minded coach, he doesn't seem to be doing a very good job at coaching, the defense. But what happened at the end of this game was inexcusable, because he might be the only coach in the NFL dumb enough to not throw the challenge flag here, and it cost him in a big-time way. So with that being said, let's take a look at why not throwing a challenge flag on a ball that hit the ground is a really bad idea. And I'm going to do something a little bit different with this one, and instead of ending with the post-game press conference, I'm going to start with it. because considering the magnitude of this play and how it helped decide the game, someone asked Mayo afterwards about why he opted not to throw his red flag. And this was his response. Take a listen.
Jerod, there was a few minutes to go. I think it was a 3rd and 8. Catch by Mallory. Looked like it might have wobbled from our perspective. You decided not to challenge that, but I think you had 3 timeouts at that point. Did you consider that? What went into that decision?
We were waiting to see the replay. Never really got a clear shot of it, so I didn't challenge it.
This explanation alone is enough of a reason to fire Jerod Mayo to show why he is woefully unqualified to be a head coach. Want to know why he's not fit for this? That 20-second clip tells you everything you need to know. First off, you know what the risk is for throwing the challenge flag in this spot? Absolutely nothing. Sure, you lose a challenge and you lose a timeout. Big whoop. With regards to losing the challenge, that doesn't mean anything. There's 3.5 minutes left in the contest, and you already threw a challenge flag earlier in the game, which was successful. This means that you still have a challenge if something else pops up in the ensuing 90 seconds. Since, as a reminder, once we get inside the 2-minute warning, every review is initiated upstairs, so no challenge flags are even a thing. This means that if you were worried about losing a challenge, the only reason to be worried about it is if you thought that you would have needed that challenge to possibly challenge not 1, but 2 more penalties in the ensuing 90 seconds. If you thought that the referees were going to screw up the call to your detriment twice in the next 90 seconds after this play, so roughly 4 or 5 plays, that's fine. Save that flag in that insane hypothetical scenario that the Colts get a circus catch that you think isn't a grab, and then get another circus catch that you think isn't a grab. Otherwise, it's meaningless. Completely meaningless. It's like if you're a season ticket holder for a baseball team, and you get membership points that you can use to buy merchandise for free and upgrade your seats for free. But you need to use them all before the season ends because they don't carry over for the next season. If you've got all your points and there's 2 days left in the season, and you think that there's going to be a double header on each of the final 2 days, so you're saving your points for that for a seat upgrade for all 4 of those games, even though there's a 0% chance of rain, then fine. But the odds of that happening are the odds of me suiting up in an NFL game, which is to say 0. But what about the timeout? Obviously, if you lose the challenge, you lose a timeout. But honestly, what does the timeout do in this spot? You have the lead. You have the freaking lead. You would still have 2 timeouts left, plus the 2-minute warning. I'm not saying that timeouts aren't valuable. I'm not saying that you should waste your timeouts willy-nilly, because that's the furthest thing from the truth. But with 3.5 minutes left in the contest, and with your team winning, they don't really mean a whole lot considering the circumstances. Clock is your friend. The clock running down and time running down, that benefits you. Obviously, it stinks losing a timeout, but it doesn't really hurt you a ton, especially considering the risk reward, which we'll get to in a bit. It's not as though you're losing. It's like if you bet $100 to win $500. If you place that bet when you're down to your last 100, and you were going to use that 100 to pay the rent, and if you lose that 100, you're getting evicted, that sucks. But if you place that bet when you're comfortable financially, but won an extra $400 in a day in order to buy concert tickets that you really want and want to get otherwise, sure, you don't lose the 100, but it's not going to hurt you at the end of the day, relatively speaking, and the reward is pretty freaking awesome. Jerod Mayo was in the latter situation, but thought he was in the former. And he thought that because he's really bad at this. Because now, let's talk about that risk-reward factor. If you throw the challenge flag and you miss, you lose a timeout, which again, doesn't really mean a whole lot. But if you get it right, guess what? It's 4th and 10, and the Colts are either going for it on 4th and long, or they're punting it away. If they punt it away, you got the ball back and have a chance to just run out the clock, which is something that you've been really good at doing all day. Seeing as you need to get 10 yards in 3 plays, or 4 plays depending on how aggressive you want to be, and you've accrued 200 rushing yards on 6.5 yards per carry. The Colts couldn't stop a nosebleed on this day in terms of running the ball. On your 8 drives, you had just one drive that resulted in a 3-and-out with no points scored. If you got the ball back, the odds were in your favor that you were going to win the game. Or in the worst case scenario, give it back to the Colts with under 2 minutes to go and with them having no timeouts. Or if the Colts go for it on 4th and 10, the odds are obviously in your favor that you're going to get a stop. And if you do, you're starting an automatic field goal range with a chance to make it a 2-score game without even doing anything, clinching the game right then and there. In other words, if you throw this challenge flag and you're successful, you win the game. Anything that you can do to win the game that is realistic, you do it. At the very least, your odds increase significantly at winning the game. Compare that to the alternative of not throwing the flag, meaning that the Colts have 4th and 3, and they're going for it in a 4th and short situation. And they're going for it in a spot where, even if you get the ball back, you need to be able to get some yards to be able to attempt a field goal and make it a 2-score game. Nothing is different. Literally nothing is different if you throw the flag and lose versus if you don't throw the flag at all. You lose a challenge, which is meaningless because you still have 1 left and have a handful of plays to even use it, and you lose a timeout, which means nothing when you've got 2 left after that and the 2-minute warning, and you've got the lead. There is no reason, none whatsoever, to not throw the challenge flag on a play like this. You can either force a change of possession or make it 4th and long and guarantee yourself a 2-score game. You could have won the game right then and there, and all you had to do was take that stupid red flag out of your pocket and toss it on the ground. And you didn't do it because you were unsure? You didn't do it because you were unsure? Here's a little tip for you, Coach Mayo, that you might not be aware of. You know what you do when you're unsure if a call on the field was correct, and said call is a big call that can change the entire outcome and complexion of the game? I'll tell you what you do. You throw the freaking challenge flag. If you say that you didn't throw the flag because you thought he caught the ball, all right, that's one thing. But to say that you didn't throw the flag because you were unsure, when that's the whole point of the challenge flag, and when there was no risk to doing this, give me a break. And then, to say that you didn't get a good replay, you're blaming the replay people for this? You're at home. Just look at the freaking video board. Believe me, any call that's even remotely close to will benefit the home team, they'll play it and freeze frame it and put it in slow-mo and whatnot. You have technology. You have no excuses here. It's not as though the Colts rushed the 4th down playoff. They called it with 5 seconds on the play clock. So you had 35 seconds to decide, which is a pretty normal length of time. If you can't be trusted to make decisions within 35 seconds, or roughly the standard length between plays, then you cannot be trusted to be a head coach. It's not like this was a split-second decision. You had longer than the contestants get it in Final Jeopardy to do this. The time in between a baseball batter hitting the ball and the next batter getting into the box and the pitcher throwing his first pitch to that batter is less than the time you had to decide. If you are commanding an operation where you are frozen and have no idea what to do after 35 seconds, then you are commanding a terrible operation. That is more than the length that a college basketball possession gets. And remember, all of this was on a play that was very obviously not a catch. There was no universe where this is a catch. The ball hit the ground. Mallory did not get possession of the ball cleanly as he trapped it, and it is moving the entire time. Replay would have overturned this one with a challenge flag relatively easily. All you had to do was throw the challenge flag, and you just about win the game. But you didn't, and it cost your team in the process. Glad you got to save your challenge flag, though. Glad you got to save it for a future game. Oh, wait, you don't. Glad you got to save it for a possible playoff game this year. Oh, wait, you don't. Because you're now mathematically eliminated because you suck as a head coach. And it bears a reminder after the game between these two teams behind me right here that this was the Patriots' succession plan. They did not go through the NFL hiring process that is mandated by every team because they had a succession plan once Bill Belichick either got fired or retired or whatever along those lines. This was their plan to hire Jerod Mayo from the start without interviewing anyone else. And it's been a disaster thus far. You know, Jamarcus Russell was so bad that he single-handedly created the rookie wage scale. We're seeing that right now with the Patriots, maybe single-handedly creating the fact that succession plans cannot be a thing anymore. Because with the Seahawks in 2009, after hiring Jim Elmore as their succession plan to Mike Holmgren, he lasted 1 season. And now the Patriots, Jerod Mayo absolutely stinks. This is an absolutely catastrophic failure. You want to call your team soft? No. What's soft is your coaching abilities. So what do we learn from all of this? If all you have to do is throw a challenge flag and you either win the game or your odds of winning the game exponentially skyrocket, then throw the freaking challenge flag. If there are 2 options and both options have, in essence, the same exact worst case scenario, but one option has a significantly better best case scenario, which will lead to you winning the game, then take the latter option. If there are two options and the best case scenario in one is the same as the worst case scenario, then take the option that isn't that. If there is a questionable play that can decide the outcome of the game, and you wouldn't lose anything of value in terms of future challenges and timeouts, then throw the challenge flag, because that's what it's for. And if you can't make up your mind in 35 seconds on something that was incredibly obvious to anyone with eyes, and was even more obvious with the benefit of 1,000 replays that you would have gotten in between that stretch, then maybe it's time to start thinking about another line of work. Because when all these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not done so already, as it helps the channel out a lot. And check out my other channels, JG8 for the history of college football, JG7 for the history of baseball, and JG9 News, where we talk about all things happening in the NFL. Join me every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll play live NFL trivia for cash prizes. And make sure to join me live, as we're on stream just about every single day. And thanks to all our Patreon members and our YouTube members for helping out the channel. See how you become a member and show your support financially in the description down below.